Huzzah and well met, brothers and sisters of the battlefield. And today we have a fun farm because we're going to work with villagers who are 100% willing participants in this farm. Right. So, anyways, let's get into it. You might be looking at this thinking, wow, what an unfinished mess. And you would be correct. This video is going to be a slightly different format because I thought building out this entire thing in one video would take a long time. So, the first thing I want to point out is get yourself two villagers. They're fairly easy to move around if you have a boat and a lead. If you have water to move them around, it makes it much easier, but you can drag one or two villagers in a boat with a lead quite a number of blocks. You'll see that I have two beds for them and a third bed for our new villager forthcoming. I've put fletching tables here so that both of these can have a career, and that way when they have a child, I will know which one not to, which ones stay in the pen and which one comes out. We'll talk about the boat in a little bit when we take our new villager to his forever job. Anyways, this crop farm is going to work for any of the four major crops: beetroots, carrots, potatoes, and wheat. We've already set up our smart Minecraft unloader here, and I will linger on it for a moment so you can build it. Pause the video here and build one. These hoppers just point into this chest. This is a redstone comparator, torch, to a repeater. No delay on that repeater. We'll use our light blue concrete for our circuit blocks, and it will stop your cart on top of the hoppers so that it empties it out into the chest. You'll see that I've already set up some of the minecart tracks. Before we do that, you'll see these stripes of blue concrete because all of these are powered blocks, and we will eventually be removing the regular tracks and replacing them all with powered tracks. It's dark right now, so you can't see it as well, but these are powered. There are redstone torches under each and every one of these blocks. You can also use levers on the underside of the block for the same effect. It does not matter, just so long as power is coming through the block. The reason I say you should do your regular tracks first in all of your straight lines is because you'll get a situation like this when you're trying to place in your regular and powered tracks at the same time. So we'll finish this up quickly, place them in order all the way through. Whoops, see, just like that. I've used smooth stone along the edges here to show our borders. This square is 21 by 21 and divided into 4 9 by 9 squares. It's tougher to see here, but there is smooth stone underneath the middle section, and we will do the same as we build the upper section. But it's important to build this collection system first. Oh, we've still got a problem here. Now, along the blue stripe, we'll take out all of our regular rails. Powered rails installed. So the reason we do 9 by 9 squares is because we can place a water source at the center and have it hydrate 4 blocks of soil away from itself in all directions. So that makes 4, 4, 1 is 9. We have our 9 by 9 squares. One villager can manage to keep up with 4 of these squares at a time, and you can place his composter right in the center and place some lights over top of it to keep your farm lit up, or leave it out in the sunshine. That's up to you. I tend to stack these up in a big skyscraper, and then you need artificial light over top of your water sources and the central composter for your farm. So we're using stairs because you can waterlog a set of stairs, and goodness, this rain is irritating. I hope you all can hear me just as well. We use stairs because you can waterlog them, and it still counts as a full water block to hydrate all of this dirt for farmland. So go ahead, get your hoe, and get down and dirty. Aha! There's our first hydrated bit, all the way in the corner. So we can let that work. I've chosen to use black stone stairs because the Necrons haven't figured out that I'm taking all their black stone yet. And I'm just going to leave that reference hanging right there. Alright, so now we have our powered rails, we have a stopper, we have our unloader, we have our first bit of soil here. We can take and finish out our build, though I don't want to waste a bunch of time with that, but I can chit-chat while we work. So what's going to happen is that a minecart with hopper is actually able to reach up through partial blocks, and maybe even full blocks as well, depending on placement and items and such. Oh, that's not right. We do need that to be a stopper to keep it from floating away. One thing we should also do as well, you can get at least 5 powered rails here, so that when your minecart slowly comes back in, it catches these power rails and gets sent off. You can expand this and tinker around with them, but 1 is generally enough to send a minecart 15 to 20 blocks without a problem on flat ground. You need more if you are on an incline, but if your farm is on an incline, then we have trouble. So we're going to fill these up with dirt. Wow. Have I ever played Minecraft before? Well, of course, it would decide to rain for the whole video that I'm making, but that's okay. Now, if you're familiar with most of my content, I usually do flat worlds with always day on. You can't do that when you're working with villagers, because villagers are very particular about what time of day they will do things. So we need them to work, or we need our farmer to work anyways. And our farmer, if you set the time to always day, the villagers will believe that it is always noon, and that is when they are usually done with work for the day. So you will find that your villagers don't do a whole lot on an always day world. They might go to town and talk with each other a lot during that time. And I won't go ahead and build out this entire farm. I just don't want a place for our villagers to fall out of the farm and into the way of the minecart. But we'll place this here, and away it goes. Now it needs to be a hopper, or a minecart with hopper. It will reach up through these blocks and pick up anything that's sitting on the ground. We'll throw a couple torches there and we'll watch. These do make a fair bit of noise, but as it comes by, you'll see those disappear. There they went. Our minecart will come all the way over here, stop for a moment, and I hardly even stopped. There was only 2 items, and since this is a double speed unloader, it was very quick. But you saw the circuit flash. If not, rewind and watch again. It did flash and emptied out. Very quickly, I do like these bamboo fences, so that's why we're using them in this video today. But you can use whatever type of fence that you would like. We'll make a small dirt stairway here. We have our 1 bit of arable farmland. Now we need ourselves a boat. There we are. And we will need a lead. Like I said, it's actually very simple to move villagers around. Oops, we need crops, not foods. If you're doing this in survival mode, you won't have too much trouble with crops and whatnot. So what we need to do first, give our villagers some food so they decide they have enough food and beds to have a baby. Because they are responsible villagers. They don't want to raise a child in poorness, only to be shipped off to work the farms forever and ever. Maybe I didn't give them enough. There we go. And there we have our progeny. So, it can be tricky to capture just 1 villager in a boat. Don't place a composter until the villager is grown up. Somehow that interferes with them deciding to be that profession, and it can take as long as 20 minutes to get a villager to grow up. But we can go in here and be a little pushy. Ta-da! If you use 2 sets of fence gates, villagers cannot interact with fence gates. And we can do a sort of airlock type of situation to keep 1 set of villagers in and 1 villager out. Once again, this is totally voluntary. Not at all compelled. Not at all. Alright. So we need not worry about that. We can let our villager run free here. But there is one other step that we have to worry about first. And this is super important. Hopefully he doesn't take too long growing up. We have our collection system in place, and we have our bit of farmland ready. Rather than waste too much time waiting for a villager to grow up. You saw nothing. We'll take... get ourselves... Well, that's not going to be any good either. These villagers with green cloaks, or excuse me, green tunics, will not work. They will not get a job. They won't do anything. Now, we need him to not be a cartographer. We'll get ourselves our composter. There he becomes a farmer. So what we're going to do now is we need to have well, he needs to have technically 8 stacks of carrots in his inventory. If you were going to do wheat, you would give him 8 stacks of seeds. Same for beetroots, give him 8 stacks of beetroot seeds. Or just potatoes if you're using potatoes. What we're going to do now, if you do these 4 quadrants for the 9x9 farms, you will need 5 stacks to plant the whole field in one round of planting. So just keep that in mind. Now our farmer, who might be a little upset that he can't go to bed at nighttime, he will tend this field for you. And in the meantime, I suppose we could continue expanding the field. I guess it doesn't matter what kind of hoe I'm using. They all get the job done. Whoops. That's not what I needed. We need a bucket of water. Not lava, water. Now, obviously, at nighttime, he would rather be in bed, so he's probably not going to get a lot done for us. But come tomorrow, he will be ready and raring to go. And as your carrots grow, he will harvest them, and he, having carrots in his inventory, will replant for you. In my own personal survival world, I have my farms completely glazed over so that they can't get out at all. Be sure that you use stairs and not just a slab, or you could place a trapdoor over top. I have seen villagers get stuck into the water in a slabbed, waterlogged square, and they will remain there and watch the crops grow. I don't know why they won't jump out. It has happened a couple of times in some of these farms that I've built. And they tend to just stay stuck there watching the plants grow and not getting anything done for you. Being that they're villagers, if you watched my last video, you saw that a lake can be kind of finicky. So can these villagers. But with those tips in mind, I think you'll do alright. So we can plant the rest of these with carrots. And I don't want this video to become too long, but these farms are proving to be longer videos than just my item sorting machines and the like. Hopefully that doesn't become too much of an issue. My videos move from 15 to 20 minute segments. I hate to drag on and on and on. Oops. Excuse me, Mr. Farmer. So, he will serve as the serf to your lorddom, and you can exact all the taxes that you like out of him. He will serve at your whim forever and evermore. Totally voluntarily, of course. This isn't any kind of indentured servitude or prison. So, I guess my final tip for this, until we just watch and see what he actually does, is that you should add some lighting. You can cover these up entirely, if you'd like. And then there is 0 chance that the villager will fall into the water at all. Well, that was different. Don't entirely cover up, or I'm sorry, do entirely cover up the composter once he has become a farmer. This will keep him from throwing any of the carrots into the composter and emptying his inventory, which means that he'll start picking up the carrots that he plants, and he will eventually pick up all of the carrots. And your farm will not work. You can hear our minecart rolling along, doing its thing, so that's good. It's not hung up anywhere. This should provide maybe 2 stacks per hour once it's fully functional, but it varies depending on how hard the villager works. Sometimes one section of the farm will grow up and they will be in a different section of the farm completely oblivious to what's going on in the far corner. You may have to maintain your farm sometimes, as I don't know what exactly happens, that your farms will somewhat randomly dry out plots of land and nothing will grow there anymore. It's much less of a problem in 120 or 1.20. It was in older versions that I would see vegetables or arable land being turned back into unarable land. So just be aware that you should watch for that type of thing if you need to break in and fix some things every now and then. And it doesn't hurt to just throw more carrots or seeds at your farmer. If they do pick them up, great. If not, it's not a huge loss. Your minecart will pick them up. So I really like it for this to be day. We're already at 22 minutes for this video. This might just end up being an extra long video. Actually, we can. I don't know why I didn't think of that sooner. We'll set it to sunrise and we'll see what he does. As most of the plants aren't grown up, he might still not do very much. Let's see. They don't get to work right at sunrise, so it may take him a few minutes, but we'll break a few of these and see if he replants them. These farms do work. I use them in my own survival world, but they do take some time to get off the ground, so to speak. And he's still upset he can't reach his bed. Whoops. Yep. Okay. You've seen him planting the carrots. That's all there is to it. As I said before, I will generally take and stack these farms on top of one another. You need... It is... Well, you also have to include our layer of torches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks tall per layer. You could technically start another layer right on top of that and begin building outward to make your new platform for your next set of rail carts, or excuse me, minecart rails, and go from there. Just be sure that you build your collection system and rail system before you add on the farm, and there you have it. I know this one was fairly simple, but I wanted to get a re-release of my bamboo farm video and sugarcane farm video, and then get a new one for you as well this week, so that I'm not depriving you of any of my content and not being lackadaisical in my production. So anyways, this is the White Sun Paladin. I'm off to my next adventure, and all of you be blessed on your next quest.